Coming up, we take smoking to a new level and we discover why New Zealand race drivers get so good. Welcome to the third episode of Motor Vegas TV, all things motoring. Well, I've managed to get ourselves down into the pits down here, and I'm going to catch up with one of the drivers, Drew Donovan, but he's better known as Donny D. Donny D, how's things, mate?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Now, I watch drifting on YouTube. To me, it just looks like cars sliding around the corner. So what is drifting?
Yeah, I guess essentially that's what it is, but I mean, there's a little bit more to it than that.
Drifting is a driving technique where the driver oversteers, causing loss of traction in the rear wheels while maintaining control from entry to exit of a corner. A car is drifting when the rear slip angle is greater than the front slip angle to such a degree that the front wheels often point in the opposite direction to the turn. Dude, that was intense. Yeah, I got smoked out. Keep your mouth closed.
There's always a set section of corners that you're drifting and that the judges are judging you on. So, you know, a typical entry, maybe a clutch kick or a handbrake entry to break traction and get the car sliding. And from there, it's a matter of powering your way through the corners, collecting the clipping points and following the correct line that's been outlined by the judges. And yes, all the while making as much smoke, as much angle, and as much aggression as possible too.
As a motorsport discipline, professional drifting competitions are held worldwide and are judged according to the speed, angle, showmanship, and line taken through a corner or a set of corners.
Smoke's a big part of the show, and typically it makes up sort of 20% of your run, so of your points. So yeah, it does play a factor in it, in the style.
Although the origin of drifting is not known, Japan was one of the earliest birthplaces of the sport. It was most popular in the All Japan Touring Car Championship races. Motorcycling legend turned driver Kunimitsu Takahashi was the foremost creator of drifting techniques in the 1970s. This earned him several championships and a legion of fans who enjoyed the spectacle of smoking tyres. One of the earliest recorded drift events outside Japan was in 1996, held at Willow Springs Raceway in California. And it was hosted by a Japanese drifting magazine who also judged the event. Drifting has since exploded into a massively popular form of motorsport in North America, Australasia and Europe.
A lot of motorsports, it gets pretty monotonous. With drifting, there's just so much variety of cars, so much variety of driving styles, and so much variety of things that go on and go off on the track. So there's a lot of thrills and spills, and people love that. So yeah, that's probably another reason.
At the top levels of competition, the D1 Grand Prix in Japan pioneered the sport. Others, such as Formula D in the United States, King of Europe and the British Drift Championships in Europe, WDS in China, Formula Drift Asia in Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, Indonesia, and the New Zealand Drift Series. New Zealand has been able to further expand it into a legitimate motorsport throughout the world. The drivers have been influenced by the pioneers from D1 Japan and are able to keep their cars sliding for extended periods of time. Now, obviously, this is one of your cars. Did you have to do any major mechanical alterations to increase or improve the performance?
Oh yeah, the cars, there's not a lot left of the original car. You know, we've chopped the front and rear off both the cars, replaced them with tube framing. My car, I'm running a Chevy LS2, which is a 6-litre V8, and a Nissan Silvia, so it didn't come out with that in it. And yeah, I mean, power, to be competitive, you need a certain amount of power because you need to run a certain amount of traction to keep up with the speeds through the corners. So we're running a semi-slick race tyre, so heaps and heaps of grip. And if you don't have enough horsepower, it's not going to spin them, and you're not going to be drifting. So yeah, there's plenty done to the cars, and it's just the way the sport's going. The more it progresses, the more you have to upgrade and yeah, keep up.
Jody Verhulst, aka Miss Drift, is an accomplished driver and is a Drift Motorsport NZ team member.
I had a bit of racing in my blood from my brother, but it was actually Drew that allowed me to have a drive of his car, which was actually here. Can't remember what car it was, but yeah, it was got me out on the track, and I got addicted and hooked ever since. So. Yeah.
Now you've stepped up to pro, so how important is that for you in your racing career? Because that's pretty impressive.
It's been a long time coming. I guess I've been working towards it for a while. Depends on how far I want to take it. I'm sort of looking at going overseas, so I mean you've definitely got to get up amongst the pros before you can go over there. So.
Jody absolutely ripped up the track for a very long time, and it seemed like they were never going to get her off there.
It's not a race in the battles. So how it works, flying, and that's done on your own. Once the field is gone through the qualifying passes, you'll determine a top 32 battle shootout. That then is elimination. So you'll go number 1 qualifier go against number 32, and so on. And then the winners from those battles go on to the top 16 battles. Winners from those go on to top 8, top 4. It's pretty unforgiving. One mistake and you'd be knocked out of the battles. But yeah, that's just how it goes. From the outside, it always looks like a smooth, fluid motion. Inside, there's quite a bit going on. You know, you're yanking on the handbrake, changing gears, clutch kicking, swinging on the steering wheel to make it do what it needs to do, and all the while you're trying to give it the impression from the outside that it's all nice and smooth. So we know what we're doing, but it's just things happen really fast at those speeds. Here at Taupo, it's quite a fast section, and yeah, you just got to be on the money when you make decisions on what lever to pull and when to squeeze the throttle.
On average meet, how many sets of tyres would you go through?
An average meet, so I say a competition weekend, one of the rounds, we'd go through anywhere upwards of 26 tyres in a weekend. They only last a couple of laps. So.
Jody and Drew also run a drifting school, which is very popular, and they can do what they enjoy while earning a crust.
There's just a niche there that a lot of Kiwi people want to learn this sport. And it's really expensive to step into, even an entry-level car, you're looking at least $10,000 for something fairly cheap. So for us, we built a car. It's not really high-powered. It's enough to do the job, It's well set up to drift, it's easy to drift, and yeah, I take a class of 6 for a full day, and normally by the end of it all 6 of them will be drifting. Any car that's rear wheel drive in theory can be set up to drift.
Well, I'm extremely grateful for Donny D taking me out on the track today. I still have my insides, which I'm very happy about. And arigato gozaimasu to Mr. Takahashi-san, the man who discovered drifting. I'm Alan Solomon, thanks for watching MotorVegas TV. New Zealand has produced its fair share of racing stars, and we talked to New Zealand's youngest and the second only driver to be part of the NASCAR series in America. And we find out how bright his star is shining in 2014 after the break.
Enjoy luxury and comfort when you hold your conference and stay at the Novotel, Rotorua Lakeside. You'll feel refreshed when starting your day, all day and into the evening. Our gym is there to challenge you, and our spa facilities are there to help pamper you. After the conference, many of our guests return with guests of their own to take advantage of the free attractions Rotorua has to offer. And the Novotel Rotorua Lakeside has many attractions to offer of its own.
The National Association of Stock Car Auto Racing, better known as NASCAR, is a family-owned and operated business venture that sanctions and governs multiple auto racing sports events. It was founded by Bill France Sr. in 1947. NASCAR is the largest sanctioning body of stock car racing in the United States. The two largest racing series sanctioned by NASCAR are the Sprint Cup Series and the Nationwide Series. Hey Hayden, thanks for joining us. Before we get into the NASCAR racing, what were you like as a kid? Were you always passionate about racing go-karts and things like that?
Yeah, first thing I can remember is I was 3 and I had a bike and had training wheels, and first thing I wanted to do was go into Dad's shop and take off the training wheels to go faster, so it was always in my blood sort of thing. And yeah, I sort of got into motocross when I was 5, and all I wanted to do was be a professional motocross rider. Injuries and that sort of stuff stopped it, so go-karting became my passion, and then after that it's now professional race car driver really.
So it all started with motocross, and you actually had to finish that because of your injuries.
Yeah, we had tons of injuries, broken legs, head injuries, wrists, everything. So we sort of moved on. Doctors gave us a suspension on our license, so moved on to karting, and yeah, it's all progressed from there. So it's awesome.
Tell me about the accident where you had to get put into an induced coma.
Well, we were at a practice ground, and we went over a tabletop, and yeah, it all landed on my head, and I can't even remember sort of months before and months after. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure what went on there, so apart from what Mum's told me and Dad's told me about what happened. Decided to give go-karting a go just as a bit of fun, and after 8 months we went to nationals and actually went really well.
And you took out a few awards, haven't you, in the time that you were go-karting?
Yeah, we won a bunch of races. We got top places at nationals, yellow plates at nationals, and yeah, it all progressed. I had race car teams wanting to sign me up, but we decided that we needed to start from the bottom and move up through the grades.
And obviously that's what you did, because you went up through into the V8s as well, didn't you? Yeah,
first we started in Formula First. We won the Speed Sport Scholarship, which was a fully paid season in a Formula First car, and it's where everybody sort of started. Shane Van Gisbergen's done it, Richie Stanaway, Scott Dixon did it, and yeah, it's definitely a good stepping stone. And then we sort of skipped a few years and went straight into the New Zealand V8 touring cars in 2012, and I was the youngest in the series by 10 years, and yeah, it's all progressed from there, so yeah, we've gone a long way.
It's interesting that you say that you're the youngest because, well, of your age, because right now you're the youngest person here in New Zealand to ever get into the NASCAR racing. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, it's a pretty good feat, to be honest. I'm really privileged to have this opportunity, to be honest. A lot of people would be good enough to do the same thing, but they just haven't had this opportunity. So I take it with both my hands, and yeah, I really get into it. And yeah, like I say, we're the youngest, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to be the best.
Now, both your parents are born and bred Kiwis, but they had a bit of time in the States, which is where you were born.
Yeah, I was born in Galveston, Texas, which is a pretty unusual place, but my parents were living over there. They lived over there for 8 years. My dad was playing professional rugby with an American team, and my mum was working as an architect, so it was pretty different, but that's sort of what wanted me to get over to the States, because I've always wanted to go back there.
So how old were you when they brought you back over to New Zealand?
I came back here when I was 1.5, so yeah, it's pretty much just come back and be brought up as a Kiwi. So
Rotorua?
Yeah, I've lived in Rotorua pretty much all my life, in some of the surrounding areas, because I was sort of more of a farm kid. But yeah, it was awesome. We definitely got the Kiwi upbringing, which gives me a bit of an edge in America.
Do you know the reason why your parents came back to New Zealand?
Well, the main reason my parents actually did come back to New Zealand is because I had an older brother that was 2 years older than me, but he had cerebral palsy. So it was quite hard for them being on their own to sort of manage him as well. So we came back to family and all of that sort of stuff. But sadly, my brother passed away at 6. So yeah, it sort of kind of gave my mum and dad a bit of they had a hard time for a long time. So yeah, it's sort of just try and move through that and then push forward to where we are now.
So whereabouts are your parents today?
My dad lives in Rotorua. He's an engineer just at one of the local places. And my mum's living down in Hawke's Bay. She's working on she's a farm manager at a big farm down there. So yeah, they're sadly not together at the moment, but well, now. So yeah, we're just, like I say, they still give me 110%, and I wouldn't be here without them. Both of their helpers, yeah, very much grateful for all their help.
With the passing of your brother, do you think that's a bit of a motivation for you to get out there and succeed?
Yeah, well, my mum used to tell me stories about how he was even more of a speed freak sort of thing than I was. So he had an electric wheelchair because he couldn't move his legs down. So apparently he used to zoom around everywhere and go real fast. So, and always be trying to make me do fast things and crazy stuff. So apparently he was more of a motorhead. So yeah, I think that does. I really do want to make him proud.
Now let's get into the NASCAR racing, because that's probably the most important part of why we're here. How did you get into it, and did you get like the magic phone call from a NASCAR sponsor or a team?
No, I was just surfing the internet one day, and I was just trying to see how we might be able to go over there, or how other people have done it from overseas. So just searching the internet and found a scholarship team that a lot of people apply for, and I just thought I'd just give it a apply. It didn't cost anything at that stage. And applied, and then I got a phone call. Would have been about 2 months later, interview over the phone, and then about a month after that, they said that I was selected as one of the 50 to go and test out in America. So did some fundraising and was able to find about $9,000 to go and do it. And yeah, it was just the most amazing feeling being able to go over there and finally get in the NASCAR that I've been dreaming for the last probably 5-6 years. And yeah, it was just awesome. I was able to go out and show all these Yanks what sort of the Kiwis are made of, even though I am American born, but I portray myself as a Kiwi.
Well, you've been here long enough now, we'll take you as a Kiwi.
Yeah.
Now, you were only 13 when you got into go-kart racing, and this year you're 20, so that's only like 6 or 7 years that you've gone through the ranks. That's a pretty awesome achievement. Yeah,
we've definitely gone through the ranks pretty quick compared to most people. Most people have 5 years of go-karting before they even get into a car. So, like I say, we were able to get good positions, and it's all I've wanted to do. And you know, most NASCAR teams are picking up people that are around 23, 24, 25. So, if I want to get into anywhere that's going to be close to a top drive, I need to be getting there now and just making the most of it while I'm young.
So 2013 was your first season in the NASCAR racing. You were in the 5th tier, is that correct?
Yeah, we're in the 5th tier, which is late models, which is still a pretty good achievement when there's 22 tiers. So it was tough. It was just as tough as a proper sprint car race. Like I was talking to Marcus Ambrose and Owen Kelly, who are in the top of the sport, and they were saying that the late model racing's just as tough, if not harder, because everybody's so hungry for that win.
Now, when I think of NASCAR racing, I think of Tom Cruise and Days of Thunder. Is that the sort of cars you race?
Yeah, it's similar. They've just been changed into sort of like a movie scene, so it's a little bit different. You can't just jump in it and go fast like they portray on the movie. But no, they are very much similar. We go around in circles, but it doesn't look as easy as you see on TV. It's a lot of time spent in the car doing preparation. It's just definitely a lot harder than everybody portrays.
Well, let's talk about that preparation a little bit, because obviously there's the physical side in the gym, but there has to be some sort of mental preparation. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, we like I say, we go to the gym. I had a trainer that was helping me out, so we'd go to the gym, do a bit of weights, running, stuff like that, cycling, and then we'd do some mental side of stuff where we were doing footwork. We'd tap the ground, and I'd have to move my feet and sort of bouncing on balls, and just a lot of hand-eye coordination stuff where you're really making your brain focus. And to be honest, I was sweating more doing that stuff than I was actually running 5-10K. So it was definitely cool to learn all that stuff and that side of things.
How did you go in your first season?
Yeah, we went good. We had a lot of top positions, a lot of top threes, which was really cool. But we had 5 DNFs at the end of the series, which really hurt us, and we just weren't able to bounce back from that. We were in the top 3 for all of the series with 5 rounds to go, and we had a good shot to winning the championship. So really thought we were actually going to give it a good fight. But 5 DNFs, we had a motor failure, a brake failure, just everything that sort of could hurt us. But no, like I say, I'm really thankful for our series and that I even got the opportunity to do it.
Well, to get an opportunity like this, you need funding. So did you get some sponsorship to get over there?
Yeah, I had a few guys helping me out in New Zealand, and then I had the team over there that was helping me out a little bit, and then just fundraising, knocking on doors, just asking for $100, $200, just whatever could help. If, like I say, if we got 1 million people gave us $1, we'd have $1 million. So it's just about trying to get as many people on board, and once I make it to the big time, I'll be able to repay everybody back.
What sort of investment does it cost for obviously for you and your team to get over there to race for the season and to do the mechanics of the car and all that sort of stuff? How much does it cost?
At the moment, it's about 100,000, which is really minimal compared to a lot of other racing and the top racing, where Sprint Cup costs 10 to 30 million a year. So
that's a lot of money.
Yeah. So we're just doing little at the moment, building up sponsors, connections, and stuff like that, and. Once we have them funding and maybe some big sponsors on board, we'll move up and pretty much just show everybody what we can do, and hopefully we can make it to the top. We have enough money to do about 4 or 5 races, so it'll be awesome to just show everybody, and hopefully someone picks us up and we can go from there.
So when you say someone to pick you up, is that a specific sponsor over in America?
Yeah, a team. Like there's a lot of teams that pick up young guys, or if someone just wanted to back me, just to get into a team and do a full year and just show them that I am capable of winning races and make it to the top, that I have the full package, because it's just not about winning races, it's about being able to speak to the camera, do sponsorship, meetings, not be shy to talk to people, just the whole thing. It's a lot bigger than everybody thinks. Everybody thinks you just race a car and that's it.
And win, hopefully.
Yeah.
What's it like, speaking of that, what's it like sitting on a podium and someone's shaking up that champagne? What's that like? What's the experience like?
Yeah, it's an awesome feeling, because it feels like all your hard work that you do during the week or the years preparing to that moment is just all paid off, and you can sort of look at everybody that's in the crowd, and usually your parents, who definitely are my main supporters at the moment, are standing there, and you can sort of just look at them and say thanks for your help, and this is a sweet moment.
Do you have any role models in the industry?
Oh yeah, that's for sure. I got Scott Dixon. He's just made it so far, a lot further than anybody could ever thought possible at the start, especially coming from New Zealand, and it sort of has opened up everybody else's eyes to travelling to different countries and making it big. So that's definitely is my hero at the moment, because I don't think I would have known what to do without him, and his dad's helping me out a lot as well.
Now, looking at the big picture, Hayden, where do you want to go? What's the big goal?
Sprint Cup is my big goal. We're looking at that at about a 10-year goal at the moment. Hopefully quicker. That'd be the goal. The quicker is better.
Sprint Cup, or Sprint Cup Series, is the top racing series of the NASCAR. In 1949, it was known as the Strictly Stock Series, and shortly after became the Grand National Series from 1950 to 1970. The series holds strong roots in the southeastern United States, with half of its 36 race season being held in that region. Regular season races were previously held in Canada, and exhibition races were held in Japan and Australia. The Daytona 500, its most prestigious race, had a television audience of about 16 million viewers in the US in 2009. Sprint Cup Series cars are unique in automobile racing. The engines are powerful enough to reach speeds of over 320 km per hour, but they are heavy, and combined with a fairly simple aerodynamic package, makes for poor handling.
Most of the guys in there at the moment are 25 to, I think there's Mark Martins who's 53, so you have a long career, so no, it'll be cool. We just get in there as soon as we can, start paying back our supporters, and yeah, just make everybody sort of proud to be a Kiwi and show everybody that it can be done.
If you are interested in helping this star shine bright, go to www.givealittle.co.nz.